Well, I called the quarterbacks in one by one last week, and I called in Danny first, and I told him that he was going to be the guy, and then I called in Rob second, and I said to Rob, we're going to make a change at quarterback. We're going to make Danny the quarterback, and you know, Rob's a very unselfish guy, and that's why he's our captain. And he was the one that said, Coach, where can I help this team in another position? He says, I played running back. I played a little wide receiver. I've also played some defensive back. I said, Rob, let's look at you at defensive back because that's where we're the thinnest right now. And he says, I'm all in. And he was great about it. And, you know, that's what you need on this football team is more and more unselfish people to help us win football games.
And how is he looked at defensive back? Is he a guy that can handle the physicality of that position?
Well, he certainly doesn't look out of place. You know, you watch him run around, and obviously as a young player back there who hasn't done it a whole lot, you would think a guy would be out of position a lot of times, but I have not seen that. We asked him to do some tackling. That's going to be the big question, how well he'll tackle. But he roams around pretty good. He made a pick yesterday in practice, which was good for his confidence as well as ours. So we look for him to continue to get better each and every day. You know, what I told Danny is you don't need to do anything different than you've been doing the last 3 or 4 weeks. He's gotten so much better since the beginning of the season, and it's all about his preparation. He prepares like a 9-year vet in the league. He studies film. He's in there at 6 in the morning. He takes meticulous 3, 4, 5-page notes, and he wants to know the answers to the test. And if he can continue to do those things, you know, you're going to love watching him play.
Getting Dan Monterosso back this week, what does he kind of offer you guys? And, you know, having that youth along that lineup, how is that going to help revitalize the squad going into Nebraska?
Well, you know, he's a young player, and he's still learning, and there's so many things that's what people have to realize, that we're playing like 3, 4, 5 freshman, sophomore receivers that don't have a lot of experience. So you're gonna have to endure some of those young mistakes. But again, he's a pea in a pod with Etling in terms of studying the film and trying to understand what we're trying to do. So he'll help us. He understands how to get open. He's doing a better job of separating versus man-to-man coverage. But he's a big, long body that can make plays over top of people. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays on Saturday. It's good to get him back. I wasn't expecting to get him back so early, but it's good to get him back.
And just you mentioned moving Gaston out to the edge. What made you guys make that call, and how do you think he helps you out there as opposed to at tackle?
Well, we thought that Ryan Isaac would probably play the nose guard as well on the edge, inside. But putting Bruce on the edge on a one-on-one block so gets him away from all those double teams he's been drawing. I think that's going to help us. He's going to get some one-on-one plays with some tackles out there, and I think that can create some issues for him for offensive linemen.
I see that Wisconsin is 7th in the nation in rushing. Nebraska is 9th. Could you compare those two ground attacks in terms of their style and in terms of their effectiveness?
I think, you know, obviously Wisconsin is premium at running the football. They have those two backs that, you know, you don't have to be perfect up front for those guys to make yards. And you just watch them week in and week out, how they make people miss you at the line of scrimmage, unblock people miss you, and they're fast. They're fast guys. Where I think Nebraska's done a nice job is it's more deceptive type runs. You know, some of the quarterback zone read stuff and the power off of those things and the speed sweep, they're a little bit more deceptive than Wisconsin, where Wisconsin's a downhill zone power team, giving it to the tailbacks.
Is it tougher to prepare for a team when you don't know who's going to play quarterback for that team?
Well, we're preparing for the backup right now, and you know, that's all we have to study right now. Last week they put in the third team guy for a series or two, but I just think that was just to get his feet wet a little bit. But we're going to prepare for the backup quarterback and see who shows up on Saturday.
Last question about this game. Amir Abdullah, their running back, 7th in the nation in yards rushing. What makes him tough to handle?
Well, he's strong. I mean, he's not very big. He's 5'11", 190, but you can see his power and strength, and he gets on a guy's edge, and it's hard to bring that guy down. So we're going to have to do a great job of getting hatched to him and making sure we do a good job of wrapping him up because he is a strong, strong runner.